What is going on, guys? It is Fortis here. So what is included in this video? We're talking about free events, pay events, the compensation that is happening, and what we can expect in the future. So check it out. Okay, so what went wrong yesterday? People were online for hours, waiting for the event to happen. I actually know someone who's waiting for 15 friggin' hours, and during that time, no information at all. Then the event hit. A whole bunch of new events, but one event, the timed event, both hunting hostiles and mining mycelium, popped up for some and of course not for others. This was the only peak of the iceberg. For those who had just restarted the STFC app, that popped up for them, but this was only 5 to 7 minutes. So a whole bunch of people basically started the event late. And then unless you had the USS Discovery with its black jump alert, these timed events popped up for 5 to 7 minutes every 45 minutes. So, this was especially hard to calculate, especially if you're logging in for the first time. So while all of this was going on, you had the free battle pass event for killing hostiles, which I do give to the developers. It was solid and had no issues there. There was plenty of time to prepare for that. Then on top of this, we had the paid events. Now, I am a mainly free-to-play player. I only pay when I'm largely certain that paying will first help my alliance, LOC, and second, the developers. Now, I know from experience that intellectual property costs are massive, and paying to use the Star Trek brand is pretty expensive for them. I've paid for packs like the Jellyfish and the North Star, but it is becoming ridiculous right now. And the player base basically feels the same way too. So these paid events are basically for the whales and the dolphins of the game. You pay $150 for the privilege of using the USS Discovery on day one, and then you take part in these paid events. By the way, on day one, it was reported by a number of paying players the USS Discovery wasn't able to black jump alert because they had bought mycelium packs. This is absolutely crazy. In essence, I agree, the top spenders of the game need some sort of privilege, need some sort of way for them to spend and to kind of reap and feel the benefits. But if the developers are going to do that, then they got to have a way to give kind of meaningful content to the players too. After all, free players make up the majority of the game population. It's almost as if Scopely and the developers do not listen to the gamers at all. Players want more features to play the game, not paid events. Okay, so with all of these crazy timed events appearing, not appearing, the STFC Discord was going nuts. Players were logging in and venting their frustration at the developers. How could they launch a series of events like this and demonstrate such a lack of testing? It's just common sense. You test these things on a development server and then you release it to the public. It's pretty simple. However, it's clear that this didn't happen and things eventually got so bad that the developers decided to pull the event. So now, take this situation. We now have a bunch of pissed off players, some who have even paid to use the USS Discovery on day one. All in all, it was a big mess. Okay, so what do you do when you have a bunch of pissed off players who cannot play the game properly? You offer compensation. Now, yesterday we did receive compensation, but it was not compensation for the Discovery event. This compensation was actually for the extended downtime on bringing the Discovery update online. As of yet, we are still waiting for the compensation to appear. But I'm sure the developers are on the case. So what does this event tell us about now and what is to come? This is Scopely's first true IP acquisition. They have a lot to learn, and I know a lot of players are feeling the same. We as a player base get this. But what is really frustrating is when we're more than 2 years into the game now. There is a lot longer. This is a lot longer than most iOS and Android games in the market. Appetite for Star Trek is at an all-time high with the Discovery series coming out, and of course Lower Decks. And the developers, they don't seem to be listening all too much. Players are looking for an extended and updated game experience, not a whole bunch of paid events. I've been thinking a lot about this, and they could have done things personally a different way. They could have offered the USS Discovery event ship for free from day one. Yes, from day one. They would have appeased the paying players of the game and the free players. Second, they could have released an epic, super powerful USS Discovery for all the paying players of the game. This would have appeased the paying players. I did a recent poll, and a lot of people said that they would pay for ships like the Defiant. Check out my latest YouTube poll because it's all up there for you to see. People would pay a lot. So why don't they just do something like this in the future? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Don't forget to, of course, like and subscribe to see future content. And as always, we are in the height of the pandemic. So everyone, stay safe out there.